there, ho there. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. We are going to talk about the Hatchet series. For those of you who don't know, that includes 4 different movies. Hatchet 1, 2, and 3, as well as the 4th movie, which is called Victor Crowley. And this is an Adam Green
masterpiece.
franchise.
I have popcorn out just because.
Yeah, I have some peanuts here.
Because
I got snacks.
This is a popcorn movie.
Oh my God. Okay, so comedy horror. Amazing. And this is 2006. So just the first one, just take that into account. A group of tourists, young people, not teenagers, but young people, in a New Orleans haunted swamp tour, find themselves stranded in the wilderness. And that evening of fun and spooks turns to a horrific nightmare, which basically they find the ghost of Victor Crowley, basically. And Kane Hodder plays Victor Crowley. He is also Jason in several of those movies, and he's a very famous stunt person, for those of you who might not be aware of that. And Adam Green, I'll just start out by saying I love the movie Hatchet for what it is. It's like the kills are crazy. Adam Green had a whole rule about it's going to be practical effects or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Low budget. It's so fun. It's just, if you go into it with like, I want kills, I want hilarity, I want goofiness.
It's everything you want.
It's everything you want.
And the effects are good.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, he made it, it was a rule. And that's what Kane Hodder often talks about with these movies, not this one in particular, but you'll notice that Victor Crowley gets bigger and bigger and bigger as the series goes on. And at one point, I think it was 3, Kane talks about how he was wearing 60 pounds of prosthetics.
Oh, he has a lot of shit on.
And it was he was miserable. He was in Louisiana.
Ooh, yeah.
It's 60 pounds of prosthetics on. I mean, dying a slow death. Jiminy Christmas. All right, so this first one. I love this first one. What do you think?
So this is, full disclosure, the only one I had seen.
Oh, before this, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. It's so much fun, and I want to say that I particularly found that the series got better as it went on, which doesn't always happen.
No, I agree.
And I think it's because you start to really fall in love with the culture of it and what it's doing.
Agreed.
Where in the first one, you're just kind of...
It's just fun.
Yeah, and it brings... there's some articles that talk about how Hatchet brought back the slasher, which, I love. Not only the kills, just the dramatic story of how we got Victor.
Yeah.
The decapitation and chainsaw to the mouth scene in number 1 was... I mean, these...
He rips the people's heads off with his bare hands.
Yeah, just rips their jaw off.
He just rips their heads off, rips the jaw off. Oh my God, hilarious.
So that one I had seen, but I didn't really remember it.
It has my favorite line, I think, of the whole, I don't want to call it a franchise because that's a dumb word, but the whole franchise, there's at one point the guy is really offended by the girl he's trying to hit on, there's these 2 girls that are warring against each other in the movie. The characters are all super ridiculous.
It's making fun of slashers.
It's these two girls and this guy that has said there used to be a thing like that was called Girls Gone Wild, and it was basically guys going all over college campuses and videotaping girls that would consensually show the videotapers their boobs, and so it ended up being these compilation tapes that you could buy.
God, that's
and
right.
It was just of random people's boobs for an hour and a half, and of course, as you might imagine, anyone who likes to look at boobs was loving that. So it's a take on that, but there's these 2 girls that are there, and so they're flashing their boobs all the time. And at one point, the one girl goes, "Your nipples are dumb." That's like, it's just, I don't know.
I remember that. I think it was the brunette that says that. Yeah.
It cracks me up every single time.
Yeah. The setup for the series in this first one is fun, but I think the storylines get, and what I love is that they take the elements of like the serious slasher where you're supposed to be like scared and whatever.
Yeah.
And they use that formula, but in a way that's fucking hysterical.
Yeah, and Joel David Moore, if you guys remember him, he was an actor around that time. He's in this. He's like one of the main characters. Tony Todd is in this.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Robert Englund has a cameo. There's just a lot of it's a lot of fun if you're into horror. There's just some fun bits and pieces there. And then Hatchet 2.
Oh, Hatchet 2. Can we talk about the intestine scene?
Please.
Okay. This guy is literally disemboweled and killed with his own and strangled with his own intestines. This scene is so brilliant because you know, like our intestines are like 25 feet long or something, so you can only imagine what they do with this scene.
Victor like pulls on him and whips him around.
And then the other one I love, so this scene is like he's literally like disemboweled, he's pulling out, and the guy's like, oh, right, and then he takes it and he just puts it around his neck and strangles him with his own intestines. This is the one where the jaw's ripped off. But the one that I think is hilarious is the sex scene with the decapitation.
Yeah.
How she's still getting rammed.
Yep.
And he has no head.
Nope.
And then the balls hanging out during the chainsaw dick split. I mean, these are so good.
So the note that I wrote about this movie was there's lots of crotch killing in this one.
Lots of crotch killing.
But then you see that in 3, you see that in Victor Crowley. Like there's Adam Green obviously, well, I mean, he didn't direct all these movies, but Adam Green obviously has a thing about getting killed in the crotch because there's always an axe to the crotch. Like butt crack, girl crotch, boy crotch, all the crotches.
All the crotches.
Yep. He's always like throwing an axe up somebody's skirt. And this was no exception.
Victor Crowley looks like a character that would have been created in the 80s too. Like his prosthetics are so dated.
Yeah, only it's 2010 when this movie came out.
It's 2010, but you watch it and it just kind of takes you back there. I don't know why, but Perry Shen, who plays Andrew, is flipping hilarious to me. You just want to hate him.
Yeah.
Because he's that, like, no matter how bloody the scene gets, like, he's in his suit.
Yeah, I know.
And he's so pretentious through the whole thing.
I know. Isn't he the one that's in every movie as a different character? Yeah, that was like a running joke.
Yes. And so in Victor Crowley, we're not there yet, but he's in like a 3-piece suit, you know, in the end. And I'm like, by this point, someone would have taken at least the blazer off.
He put him in every single movie.
Put him in every one.
As a different character. Ridiculous. So ridiculous. He would like die in one movie and then he'd be like a different character.
Because he's hilarious. In the first one, he plays like a completely different character. And then, he comes back in a variety of roles. And it's all, you know, with the intention of going, oh, he's playing. It's like they're not trying to cover it up.
No, it's a joke. Yeah. And I mean, this is the one where you actually get Victor Crowley's backstory. You see Kane Hodder actually acting as his own father, and then you see Victor's birth and the deformities and all the things that happened to the mom and all of this. There's actual, you know, acting and figuring out what the backstory is. And I can't remember if this is the one where Tony Todd tells a Crowley's ghost story.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, and I wrote down Victor Crowley is the white Candyman because
for sure,
and Tony Todd is Candyman for those of you who don't know, and it's so tied. Like I see what you're doing there, Adam. You're like
Reverend Zombie.
Yeah,
that's his name.
Yeah, there's a lot of crotches and a lot of tears in Hatchet too. There's a lot of people crying and being sad, and there's also the Biscuits and Gravy song.
And then there is, and then we also have the switch to Danielle Harris takes over the role of Mary Beth, and then she takes over for the rest of the series. And a lot of you might know her from Halloween, I think 4 and 5.
Yeah, and fun fact, and we'll do some facts right next, but fun fact is that Adam Green originally wanted her to play in the original movie.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then didn't end up casting her for whatever reason. I can't remember the reason. And then realized his mistake and went back to her for number 2. So she was supposed to be there the whole time, but oh well. But yeah, let's do a little thing that we like to call
Hatchet Backstreet Girl.
She's eating pumpkin seeds or something, if you can hear her.
Crunch. Okay. Director Adam Green established this rule for post-production.
Okay.
Number 2. What is the movie's tagline?
Okay.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Number 3, what is Hatchet's fan base known as?
Okay.
How long did it take Adam Green to write the first Hatchet?
Okay.
And then lastly, who did the voice for Victor Crowley?
The
Yeah.
Throughout the whole series,
The whole thing.
Victor Crowley sounds like an enraged pig.
Oh my God, yeah.
I feel like that's the sound effect they used on the soundstage, because it's like this grunting, and it sounds like an enraged animal, and specifically like an angry pig.
Oh my God.
That's my feeling on it. All right, Hatchet 3. What did you think of Hatchet 3?
So what do I have here? Oh, first of all, I love Caroline Williams in this. She's great.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
And I loved her in that movie that we all watched where she was the DJ at night, remember?
yeah.
And the whole like a bloodbath ensued.
Yeah, it was an independent film that was just like a couple of years old. Ah, darn, I forget the name of that.
The head explosion in this one is great, and it like just sprays
I
everywhere.
swear to God, the heads in the crotches.
But my favorite part of this one,
Yes.
there's 2. The first one is the Victor Crowley dolls that they sell. They look like little voodoo stuffed, but they're like plushy Victor Crowley dolls, but they're
Yes.
all like botched and weird.
Yes. Because this is a different director, so. But
Okay.
Adam Green was very, very, very involved.
Okay.
He wrote it, and his DP, I think it's his DP, his cinematographer that directed this.
I would imagine that they probably do sell these dolls. I want to find them because they're hilarious.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
And then we get Felissa Rose in this one.
Yes.
And the scene where the cell phone kill up her cooch and out her mouth.
Right? Like, what is
She's
that?
on the phone and they just like punch her in the vagina. And it comes all the way out of and then there's a hand with a phone coming out of her mouth. That was such a great kill.
It's so the kills just get more and more and more inventive, and there's a lot of monster in this one.
A lot.
So if you enjoy Victor Crowley and Kane Hodder's monster acting and all of the crazy grunting and killing and weird business, like this is a horror fan's campy dream. It's just so fun. This third one is so fun, I think.
Yeah, this one was one of my favorites because the kills were so absurd. And the Victor Crowley dolls, I think that was hilarious. They're selling these things.
Yes, they're amazing. This is definitely, in my opinion, the campiest one.
Yes.
I guess. You think it's really campy when you watch 1, and then 2, you get a lot more like backstory and figuring out who everybody is. You still get good kills and stuff, but then by 3, it's just completely off the rails. It's just off the rails.
God.
Nobody cares about anything. You're just crotching and killing and ripping heads off and punching apparently phones of twats.
Good shit. Yeah, this one by far is, I think they're all pretty gory, but this one is just like hit after hit after hit, and the kills are, I think, a lot funnier in this one.
Yeah, I feel like it just went really campy and really silly, I guess. And then there's Victor Crowley, which is probably your favorite.
I don't know if it's my favorite. I'm not sure. I actually really like number 3, even though I know it's not. I mean, they're all great, and we wouldn't have these without Adam Green. I know he didn't do the third one, but I thought they did a really good job at.
Oh no, I definitely made sure to say he wrote it. It was his DP. He was very involved, but he just specifically didn't take a director credit on it.
Another thing that I think is funny, and they even did it at the end of the series, is the movie just kind of ends.
Yeah,
which I think is hilarious. Yes. You're like, oh, that's it.
It's very Gen Z. It just cuts off.
It's just like, I'm done paying attention. But up until this one, because there's Victor Crowley, there isn't anything, at least as of yet, after this. I appreciate that it always then like starts right away from that where it leads off, where it ends off. In the previous ones, like they don't waste any time.
Yeah, that's like one of the trivia facts is if you watch all 3 of these movies, it's literally just one big movie. It's completely continuous. The first 3, not Victor Crowley, but the first 3 for sure.
I do like Victor Crowley though, because obviously it goes more into him and how he became who he did, and then you get to see more of Kane, which is always fun because Kane is really great in playing this very like dramatic, father who lost his son, which is really him because he's playing both.
Yeah. He's very present in these last two. There's like a lot of kills, in 2 as well, he gets to be an actor basically. Like he plays his dad and all that. But so he's very present.
This is the one where I think Perry Shen just kills me because in the
he is hilarious.
The plane at the end and just his reactions to everything, and he's just so extra,
so ridiculous,
so extra,
so ridiculous.
So I did like this one. I don't think it's my favorite, but I did like how they ended the series, and it's fun.
Felissa also in this.
Felissa's back in this one.
Did you, by chance? I hope you caught the credit scene of this movie.
I don't know.
So make sure you guys, when you watch Victor Crowley, to watch all the way through the credits. I do that with most movies these days anyway, because you never know. And there's a credit scene that is what's her face from 2 and 3, the woman you just mentioned,
Caroline Williams.
Danielle
Harris.
Thank you, Danielle Harris. With a gun, like I'm coming for you or whatever. So it's literally a setup for a sequel that never happened.
Oh,
yeah. Or maybe it will happen someday. But like. Considering what happens to Victor Crowley at the end of Victor Crowley, it's hilarious that they set up a sequel. Like, I think that's the funniest thing ever.
Well, I also forgot to mention that we have a much more mature Zach Galligan in this, who was in Gremlins. He's our guy from Gremlins.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought that was funny. When I was looking at him, I'm like, God, why do I know that face? And I'm like, oh, shit, that's Zach Galligan. So, you have the lead of Gremlins in this, and he kind of plays an asshole a little bit in this one.
Yeah, so I would say that Hatchet 1 is a lot of fun, and it's a straightforward, you don't have to know anything or think too hard, straightforward slasher fun vibe. So if you're just into it for that, I think it's the best one. If you're going to watch the whole series, like if you dig it and you want to watch the whole thing and look at it in total, 3 is probably my favorite.
I would agree.
But I think to enjoy 3, you do have to go on the ride.
You do. You have to, because it isn't going to mean as much.
Because it's like a 6-hour movie.
Yes.
It's literally just the third part of a 6-hour movie. So
it's not going to mean as much. The character, it's not going to be as funny if you don't understand all the stuff that it leads up to.
Agreed. Like, I don't want to say, just sit down and watch 3 because that's our favorite. I really think, and it's not 6 hours, it's not, because each movie is about 90 minutes. So, that fourth hour or whatever, I would say it's really, really enjoyable. But just like in a book series, because of course a lot of like fantasy series and a lot of series these days, it's like you're reading 3, 6, 10 books. In order to enjoy the 10th book, you want to read, so it's like that. It truly is a series. Not like, Dream Warriors or something you could sit down and probably watch and just enjoy it as a standalone in a way.
Right.
There's certain Jason movies you could do that with. There's certain Halloween movies you could do that with, like older franchises that predate these by a couple of decades, of course. You can do that. But no, Adam sat down to do a trilogy, basically. I would say that's, my recommendation is to watch them all.
Yeah.
All right, let's get the answers to the...
Hatchet Factory Girl.
Oh, sound like Victor Crowley.
That was my good. I'm glad that you picked up on that.
Oh, yeah. I'm here with you.
That was intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Director Adam Green established this rule for post-production.
Well, the only thing I know to guess on is that he made a rule about like a percentage of CGI, like no CGI, or
he said
percentage.
No CGI, only used to remove on-screen wires.
Oh, I got that right? Oh,
yep.
Delightful.
Yep. Number 2, what is the movie's tagline?
Something about stay out of the swamp or something.
It's not a remake. It's not a sequel. And it's not based on a Japanese one. I love that.
That's not the poster I saw, but sure. That's hilarious.
Isn't that funny? What is Hatchet's fan base known as?
I don't know. Protect your crotch? I'm not sure.
The Hatchet Army.
Oh, Jesus. Mm-hmm. Sure.
How long did it take Adam Green to write Hatchet? The first one?
48 hours.
3 days. Close.
I was close.
You were off by a day.
I was.
You gave him a little more time.
I did.
You gave him a little less time.
Oh, yeah. A little less. I thought there was less thought.
Who did the voice for Hatchet, for Victor Crowley?
Oh, I don't know if it was different than Kane Hodder.
It was a blend, primarily a blend of Kane Hodder and director Adam Green's voice, like all in one.
That makes sense. In post-production, I imagine he had to do
that was probably really funny.
I imagine it was fun for all on the soundstage. That's amazing. Awesome. We had a lot of fun watching these movies. They're good summer fun. They take place in the swamp in Louisiana, and it's hot, and I think it's a fun summer activity. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Terror Talk. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Kathy. Sleep safe, everyone.